Ndakamuona mwana uyo achitamba ega urine vamwe shamwari dzaimutiza dzimwe dzacho dzaimuseka asi kusanzwisisa masikirwo ake nekushayiwa ruzivo.
As we continue to showcase disability issues. In this week's episode, we explore the United Nations Millennium Development Goals and how persons with disabilities, government ministries and departments, as well as development partners, are working together to realize these goals.
Capacity building is being done with the Justice Department on accessibility issues in the justice system, and the court system is now accessible, and there are sign language interpreters. 3.29 research, statistics, and data collection. This links to goal number 17, the partnership goal. The strategic department has worked in close collaboration with the Department of Disability Affairs for the monthly statistics, not only monthly, but also the annual. They focus that the data must be disability disaggregated. For example, showing the number of children with disabilities, the number of adults with disabilities, their disability status, gender, the youths that are there, how many males, how many females, also citing progress, challenges, and the way forward in the upcoming month.
In line with the National Development Strategy 1, which underscores the importance of inclusivity in all national development issues, this meeting was to take stock of interventions towards the implementation of strategies to attain SDGs for persons with disabilities, with all stakeholders playing a critical role in the various initiatives towards Agenda 2030.
Inclusive development, equitable economic opportunities for all, including the most marginalized groups. So economic cluster have 5 SDGs. We have SDG 2, SDG 7, SDG 8, SDG 9, and SDG 17. What does SDG 2 say? The SDG 2 is about ending hunger, achieving the food security and improving nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Then we also have SDG 7. SDG 7 is about ensuring access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. Then we have SDG 8. It promotes sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Then we have also SDG 9. SDG 9 build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. Then we also have SDG 17. SDG 17 is about strengthening the means of implementation and revitalization of the global partnership for sustainable development. So what is the progress being made within these SDGs and economic cluster? We have seen that there are presidential programs which are being carried out under the Ministry of Agriculture. Yeah, as you know, Ministry of Agriculture has got the development aspect, whereby they are promoting the projects in rural areas. They are now concentrating much on rural areas aspects, whereby persons with disability are being one of the people who are benefiting in the projects. So the Presidential Rural Development Program is then aligned with the Rural Development 8.0 initiative, with the objective of drilling a single bore and developing a profitable 1-hectare village business unit in each of the 35,000 rural villages across the country. So there are many projects which are being carried under Ministry of Agriculture. I just take one, like bore drilling program. Then we have also government is installing solar mini-grid systems at rural community irrigation schemes, rural business centers, rural schools and clinics through the rural electrification program funded from the 6% levy charged on all electricity consumers. Tinozwa vanhu vachitaura kuti hanzi magetsi ekaya, magetsi kumusha. That's the program which is being implemented by the government. Then we also have the National Financial Inclusion Strategy. People call it NF1S2. Targets women, youth, micro, small and medium scale enterprises, small farmers, persons with disabilities, and the elderly and pensioners. The program is being carried from 2022 to 2026. So it's an ongoing program which is being implemented.
Leaving no one behind lies at the heart of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. This principle is mentioned at least 7 times in the agenda itself, and has been a recurring theme in documents, pledges, call to actions, interventions, and statements delivered since by member states, the UN, and the civil society. So SDG 16, remember governance falls under SDG 16, which addresses the need to promote peace and inclusive institutions for sustainable development, providing equal access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. As we mentioned before, that governance cluster focuses on access to justice, which is a right for all. Zimbabwe has made progress in promoting disability inclusion in disability implementation. So one is access to justice. Okay. So the government of Zimbabwe has established justice programs to improve access to justice for persons with disabilities. So I had to give one example, which is the J laws. That is the Justice, Law and Order sector, which is a program under the Ministry of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. So its main focus is on access to justice, and we also carry out programs to do with disability inclusion. Okay. We can also go to courts. Courts have made physical and communication accommodation, like sign language interpretation and braille materials. So at the courts, we now have ramps. We also have like sign language interpreters as well in courts. So which also makes it easy for persons with disabilities to access justice.
There's now registration of more OPDs. It's the steady progress. And so I think what's important is that I think even the RRC, the introduction of the UNPRPD, because the current project, for example, focuses on strengthening coordination, accountability, and governance. That's why we have this meeting. We're actually trying to raise as much awareness on the how of disability inclusion. So it's a process. It's going to take time, but I think this awareness raising has been critical because it continues to open our eyes to actually say it actually costs nothing to invite a person with disability. Yes, you may have to offer reasonable accommodation. For example, if someone comes with an assistant or you need sign language, but it doesn't cost a lot for someone to be on the table for dialogue. So, I mean, the country is making some progress, and I think that should be commended.
Achitamba ega